Watch out, Dream Team. Payno is not here and I am in charge. We're joined by some absolute legends, Dr. Jamie Roberts, Jonathan Fox Davies. We've also got what's left of Jonny May. We could be having a minute's silence for you if you pass away.
No, we won't be having a minute's silence.
Who's the coach's favourite? Oh, really? No, you're a bit of a teacher's pet.
Biggest compliment I can play France. It's romantic rugby. This is how we want the game to be played. I didn't see an England team that wanted to be ruthless. How do they beat Wales?
Put the roof on and just go attack. Wouldn't that just be brilliant?
We were close to scoring and it became so loud. It was like someone pushing on the top of your head. In Wales, everyone's going completely mental.
Yeah.
Into the final moments, Alex Payne trying to keep this side going forward. Haskell takes it on now with just relentless chat, largely about himself. And there's Tindall to add the finishing touch of glamour and World Cup winning stories. That is how you podcast.
Let's go.
You all good? Do you want to clap? Thank you, Jonny. Watch out, Dream Team. Payno is not here and I am in charge. Welcome to the good, the bad and the rugby. Proudly sponsors by Continental Tyres, our go-to for premium tyres. At Continental, safety, performance and grip are the name of the game. The complete opposite of this unpredictable show where we're never quite sure how the journey will unfold. So buckle up and enjoy the ride. Now, there's never been a more apt sentence. Now, we say this every week and sometimes it's a shambles, sometimes it's not, but we're joined by some absolute legends of the game. We celebrate an incredible heavyweights tag team partnership in Dr. Jamie Roberts and Jonathan Fox Davies. We've also got Jonny May, or what's left of Jonny May, in the house. Mm-hmm. We have to deal with the elephant in the room, Jonny.
Yep.
Just quickly explain. You've just come off the back of a stag do to Barcelona. Now, if you want to know the full story, tune into Lock-In, because I've had Tins and Jonny on the Lock-In, but just quickly tell people why you look like you were about to pass away.
So I've had a stag do last night and I remembered I had some anti-inflammatories in my bag, but I've got my playing bag with me as well, which also has sleeping tablets in it because we play night games, and I mistakenly took 2 sleeping tablets instead of the anti-inflammatories.
So let's just be very clear. He's taken Zopiclones, 2 7.5 milligrams, 50 milligrams of sleeping pill. I'd just like to go over to Dr. Jamie Roberts. You are a doctor in the house. First of all, is that dangerous? What can we expect from Jonny, and how bad is this going to get?
I don't know. Refer to a senior.
It's not great, though, is it?
It's not great.
It's a lot. It is a lot. I'll be all right. It's a lot.
Just tell me what you're going through at the moment, just quickly for the viewers.
I feel good sitting down. My legs are a little bit jelly when I'm walking up and down the stairs, but it feels quite nice.
You feel you're a bit sort of...
I feel a bit lit, yeah.
Lit.
That's exactly what we needed to have. But lads, how are you? Firstly, I'm sorry we had to come to Jonny first.
Yeah.
Didn't give you the welcome you both deserve as Welsh legends in the house.
Fine,
how are you, Fox? You looking very relaxed and as young as ever?
Yeah, feeling good.
You do look young.
He does look young, doesn't
I
he?
look old.
I feel
like
I
a
look...
chewed tennis ball, isn't it?
I don't look good today.
You look all right.
No,
you look like you've got a bit of a haircut.
Yeah, I don't know what to do with my hair. I'd never know what to do.
Just go, give me look like an Asbo.
Is it because of the language? You still struggle with the French language?
No, I just always feel like I like having short, aggressive, like tight, tidy hair. Yeah. My wife, I can grow it a bit longer. My wife likes that more, but I just can't be doing it.
It's like you've gone in and gone,
fuck it, make it not look good.
Yeah, just make me look like
I don't actually care that much either.
Convict, yeah. Look me like a steel car radio where Adidas poppers.
Yeah, I don't know what to do with it.
Oh,
I'm not that bothered either, but...
Hey, back to Benjamin Button.
Yeah, back to you.
You do look young.
How are you still doing it?
Well...
Moisturiser, do you have a routine?
Moisturising.
Do you actually?
Yeah.
Back to 50?
Yeah, SPF is key, mate.
Yeah, that is
got to look after
and
the
he
skin.
evaded contact a bit more than me.
Yeah, he did, yeah. You were the crash ball specialist.
You were a homing missile for contact.
You were a crash ball specialist. He was an outside brake man.
Exactly.
He was right-handed fend.
Fend.
Great.
Cracking fend.
Doc, how are you?
I'm good, mate. 3rd kid's arriving in 6 weeks, so I'm preparing for battle. Yeah.
As a doctor, you didn't learn the pull-out technique? No.
The withdrawal method.
You didn't understand the biology of how that works?
Eject.
Keep firing in, you're going to have kids? No?
I know, mate.
Skip that lecture, did you?
No, 3rd kid, and then
you sound buzzing.
Yeah. Excited. Nice little soiree in Australia, then back to work in August, mate. Starting life as a junior doctor, yeah. Yeah, I graduated in 2013, so sat an exam last November to go back in. So,
did you have to do that?
I've been out so long. You kind of refresh everything, and then back to reality, mate, in August.
And what was the Australia? Lions. Oh, sorry, going to I forget because you're the Howden ambassador. That's why you're here.
Nice, well teed up.
Well
Smart,
done, well done. Howden just providing insurance for all sorts of things and providing Jamie Roberts. You're welcome. We've actually got later on in the show, we've got some couple of gift bags for you chaps as well, which is the gift that keeps on giving. And we'll probably paid you because you two don't get out of bed for cash. You'll do as you're told at the moment. Well, look, we love having Welsh on the show, by the way. Thank you so much for coming in. Thank you, Jonny, as well, for surviving so far. We had some really nice feedback, actually. We don't normally get a lot of nice feedback. Most of our feedback is good about rugby. If Haskell shut the fuck up, the show would be quite good. Alex Payne's a posh idiot, and Tindall breathes through his breathing, full stop, really. It's really bad. Yeah. It's like a Hoover.
Yeah.
You can hear him in the background, just snorting through his nose. The pig, the truffle. So the feedback was we got 5 stars, good it gets, one of the best rugby podcasts, well worth listening to from an Osprey supporter.
Nice.
Yeah. Great podcast. These guys regularly have me laughing to myself. It's nice to hear people talking a lot of sense, but still managing to get the banter across. Good listen from a Welsh man. Now, obviously, we've covered a few things this show already, but we've got a Watchers of Bath quiz with Gordonians RFC, which is brilliant. But talk to me, massive weekend of Six Nations rugby. Very interestingly, do you want to start with Wales?
Let's start with France Island, is it?
We can do that.
That was impressive, wasn't it, from the Frenchies?
Mm-hmm.
Just dominance. And I thought, the way they defended was outstanding, and they absorbed all the pressure. And then I think just that firepower they have is just on another level. I thought that was a great game to watch to start with. That first half, how close it was, and then the strength that they have just showed in that last second half, really.
It's good for the tournament as well, right? It goes down to Super Saturday. It's the French to lose now. All they need to do is win. They don't even need a bonus point now because of the points difference with England. But for it to go down to the last weekend, I think that's what everyone wanted.
Yeah. Did you see that coming, Jamie? Did you see that kind of that pounce?
So before the tournament, I didn't think anyone would get the slam this year. I backed England to beat France and France to beat Ireland, and I thought England would win the tournament this year. But again, let's skip the Welsh game. Let's go straight to the English game. Yeah. I watched England play yesterday. I thought they were really impressive at times in attack, and I thought Italy actually played really well, first half especially. But knowing that they needed, there's 100 points differential with France. And banking on France, probably winning against the Scots, but hoping they don't get a bonus point. I didn't see an England team that wanted to be ruthless and score 60, 70 points on that Italian team. And the points difference in the end means they've got to go to Cardiff now and win by 80, which is never going to happen, John.
Never.
If England win with a bonus point next week and France lose.
England win.
No.
If France win without a bonus point.
Yeah, that's the point. Yeah,
the points difference is too high. If France win.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. So that it was 100 points or circa 100 points before the weekend.
But the thing is as well, the risk against that Italian team, if you play too loosely, they
you're
will
going to concede points.
Which previously their error rate might have been, but they were impressive, Italy, the way they scored those couple of tries.
We will come on to it because Mike Tindall, a much more sort of established rugby brain than I have, was kind of talking about, again, England, that last 20 minutes, they're not quite showing that ruthlessness, as you said. Ruthlessness is not just carrying on throwing offloads, it's the ability to pick and choose when they do that. But we can dissect that because I really want to drill into the...
But France did it in Rome.
Yes.
And Italy were at home. I just thought England at home.
Yeah.
Okay, don't get me wrong, that would have hurt Italy, and they've come with probably a better game to Twickenham.
I think the context of it, the French having a disastrous appearance at Twickenham, whoever they were playing next week with that, and then Italy sit on that result, and they probably bring their best, some of their best
for 2 weeks.
Yeah, they stew. They bring their best. So it's funny how the nature of how the games unfold affects emotions and performances in that way throughout the competition.
A man that you both know really well, Sean Edwards. We're going to talk about kind of the coaching stuff around Wales, but Sean Edwards in particular. Do you feel like he's evolved as a coach, and what he's doing with them is for France really helped win the tournament there and then? Really,
I think he's just brought them an intensity with their line speed. They put pressure on Ireland the whole game, and the interception at the end came. They were looking to get points from their defense, and he always wanted, his philosophy was get the ball back as quickly as possible, wasn't it? And it was just a case of France were just ruthless in the contact area. 2 men were making an absolute dogfight where they weren't wasting too many numbers. I just think that they were just so well drilled, and we know what Sean's like. He's just a a great operator at that level.
Yeah, and very high kind of EQ as well. He's that sort of coach, isn't he? I actually think they've become a bit more passive and much smarter. You watch them play against Wales, and defensive masterclass against Wales. They actually jogged on the advantage line. They were still, Wales played very, very deep, probably expecting France to fly off the line, and actually just contained them, just side to side, allowed Wales to go side to side. But against the big boys of Ireland, especially in their 22Gs, they came hard.
But that's a different methodology that Shaw would have used, because he would never have, I mean, I certainly when he coached me, he would never have been passive like that. So that kind of, you said, is an evolution in itself, because my concern sometimes with Gats and Sean was that the evolution of what they were doing. You know, I knew from the Lions saw 2017 doing similar drills. People have come out and said about Gats with Wales.
Drop that in there, mate. You were on tour.
I did actually, guys. Yeah, I did. I don't want to go on about it, but I was actually really sort of emotional tour leader. Actually, if you watch the video, everyone listed me as the fucking hero. But I don't want to go on about it. But I think
with Sean though, there's one trophy that's eluded him, and that's Rugby World Cup. I mean, this guy's the most decorated coach player out there, isn't he? He's won everything. But you just sense it in him. He wants the Rugby World Cup, mate. He wants it. He missed out with France in France, you know, a year and a half ago. He's gunning for that, isn't he?
Johnny, what do you think? France, can they win without Dupont? How big a loss is that?
No, they can win without Dupont, but it's pretty brutal, and it just shows that like everybody's mortal, really. If you get hit at the wrong place, at the wrong angle, and it looks like it's his ACL. Hopefully, it's a clean ACL injury. They can be a lot easier to rehab than with a bit of cartilage or MCL alongside that. But no, it's a shame for him. But yeah, that scrum half who comes off the bench is good as well.
Yeah. They might even pick him. They might pick Le Garrec.
Yeah.
I think Serran's been called up to squad as well.
He's got a lot of
So I just think when they're on it, they're a step ahead of the rest. When they came to Twickenham, it was a bad day for them, and I was the same. I didn't think anybody would win the Grand Slam because my gut says that France tend to have a bad day. In a match of 5 games, they might likely slip up on one. But when they're at their best, they're the best team. So they're probably fair winners. And let's see if Scotland can. This is an opportunity for Scotland still. Is it at Scotland?
It's in Paris, mate.
Oh, it's not. No, it's not. No, I can't see it.
You boys calling it? Can't see, no, not a chance.
I thought if it was in Scotland, I would have been a nice opportunity for them, but it's going to be very tough.
We could be having a minute silence for you if you pass away during that game. Do you reckon they'll put that up? You go between now and then with an OD of Sopper
in Cardiff. No, we won't be having a minute silence.
Not
for this guy. He's caused us too much pain.
Like a black armband, everyone there got a minute. Round of applause, Jonny May. Thanks. Well, how did he die?
So then we think
we've all laughed at him. Not one of us has offered him medical attention, by the way. But I just
France are beating Scotland in France, aren't they? They are. They're too good. Then it is Italy, Ireland are in Rome. That's going to be Ireland too good for Italy again.
Yeah, but are they going to be emotionally just spent after what they was dealt on the weekend?
Who? Ireland. What? Yeah, like they've not a reaction again.
Yeah.
And then the best match of next week is Wales England. That's the best one.
Let's get on to Wales.
Well, I do want to get on to that, but I just want to ask a little bit more about France, purely because how good that performance was, but also they're another exponent of the 7-1 kind of bench situation, which everyone's talking about being a bit controversial, but the two sides that can really capitalise on it are both South Africa and France because they've got incredible depth.
Yeah.
What do you make of that? Do you think,
There's nothing in the rules that say they can't do it, so why is everyone kicking up a fuss, Rassie, he manipulates things to his advantage.
Yeah.
Like, he looks at stuff and he tries to go, right, this will help us if we do it in this sort of way. Like in the World Cup when there was a mark and he called a scrum.
Yeah.
Genius. Play to your advantage. If there's stuff in the rules that you can manipulate to your strengths, so be it. We're all trying to catch them up, and France think, right, going down the 7-1 route is good for us and the best way that we can play. It's the way it should be, really.
What do you think?
The biggest, I agree. You got to play within the rules and play to your advantage, and every team does it. Talk about style of play and what have you. The biggest compliment I can play France is they play the game how the game should be played. If that makes sense, they're brutal up front. Their offloading game, their ability to carry the ball into contact, win the advantage line, the pace, the skill, the dexterity behind the scrum. It's romantic rugby. I think all fans watch it and go, this is this is how we want the game to be played. When they're on song, it's unplayable at times.
Just three backs, obviously 3 different positions. How much would you have liked to have played with that kind of French backline fitted in with some of those players involved with Dupont and
unbelievable?
Like,
when you're around quality, it allows your strengths to show. I think we probably all agree that when you're around quality players, you just concentrate on yourself, and everyone brings the best out of each other.
Like, I imagine like the French pack is a big factor to why the backs look so good as well, because their collision dominance and their ability to move the ball, it just ties defenders in so they have more space.
Doc, a penny for Andy Farrell's thoughts on Ireland?
It's going to be such a Lion selection's fascinating now. Obviously, the public discourse after Six Nations is all going to centre around the Lions, isn't it? And he's got some massive decisions to make. Massive decisions. You look across back rows and midfield. I think there's, devastating to see Ollie Lawrence get injured. He would have been in the mix in the midfield, no doubt. But across all positions, there's a huge amount of competition. I mean, dare I say, I'd hate to be in his shoes, because some serious players are going to miss out on selection for the Lions. And I guess the challenging thing for him now is, like, with Ireland losing and probably not winning the title, do some question marks come over some of those Irish players? You'd probably think not, because they've got a lot of credit in the bank. And they've been magnificent.
Well, Josh Van der Fleer was an interesting one, because I think at the moment he probably hasn't played as well as we know he can play. He was he's player of the season for them, he's well player of the year, he's done a couple of other bits, but actually if you look at Darge for Scotland, you look at Jack Morgan for Wales, look at the Curry brothers, I thought have been brilliant. I think guys have maybe put their hand up surpassing. Now, do you take him anyway, or do you take some of these guys, as you said, credit in the bank wise? I don't know.
It's hard, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's the question he's got to answer. I think 10 is the hardest position.
Yeah.
You look at kind of Prendergast, is it a tool too soon for him? He's young. When you look at Finn Russell, the guy starts for me, but his goal kicking percentage isn't brilliant.
No.
For Lions Test rugby, we were chatting earlier about, if you have a halfpenny at fullback who's a massive high percentage goal kicker, well, then Finn Russell starts a non-starter.
Yeah.
Marcus goes, I think, because he's that sort of jiggy player. But there's not 110 in the UK and Ireland who is head and shoulders above the rest yet. I think
they're all slightly different as well. Sometimes you have the contrast between kind of the guy that would be very attacking and a more sensible approach. You knew where to pick them, because Finn Russell against an Owen Farrell, for example, two very different players. George Ford, again, takes a line, but it's a different player. These guys all seem to be slightly different, have slightly different sort of skill sets, different areas.
What do you boys think? Hardest positions?
Yeah, I mean,
your voice is getting slower and slower.
Yeah, they're all difficult. The 10 one's relevant at the moment because England are a little bit. England are having new 10s, having a go at it. Ireland have got a good young 10. Finn's had, like he does. He has his good moments and his bad moments, and comes under some controversy. But I just always think, like, surely if you're Andy Farrell, like, do you not just know before? Like, it's very fickle and short term to think of. Like, it's a 4 years between Lions tours. Like, he knows he's had the job. Like, I'm just thinking, if I was a coach, I would have, like, if it's a 30-man, for instance, squad, before a Six Nations, I'd have 20 in pen already. Yeah. It's fascinating, isn't it? Because I've been on the side of missing out when I really thought I'd done enough and felt like I couldn't have done any more. And, like, you see the names going, you're like, oh, fuck, Murray, and I'm May. But that's like life. That's elite sport. Having that sort of an experience when you go all in and you don't get it. And I'm just sort of thinking, well, you step back, like, I couldn't have played any better for that time. England had a bit of a crappy Six Nations. I still played okay. But, like, Gatson, Scott, what's his Scott man called? Gregor.
Scott man.
Gregor.
Scott man.
There's so many things that come into it. Like, they'd work. Of course, they're going to pick and prefer people they've worked with.
The coaching setups.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's also familiarity.
Yeah, familiarity. I would pick people I've worked with. Do you know what I mean? I'd go back to the same person. If they did a good job fixing my toilet, I'd go and get them to fix my toilet again.
So is it
how often is your toilet broken?
It was just an analogy.
I wondered if you had a bit of a problem with your toilet.
Yeah, it's fascinating.
I think Marcus Smith, going back to the 10, has a point of difference. Like that try he scored yesterday in the first half, that acceleration to get connected from the tip. That's
like, when he's at his best.
Yeah, and I think whether or not he starts or he's on the bench, I think he goes and he will play a big factor.
Just last question. I mean, Ireland end of an era. problems. Too dramatic.
Oh.
We had the catastrophizer, Alex Payne. He said it was like a changing of the guard yesterday. France pumping Ireland, and then at the time being, Scotland winning quite convincingly against Wales as it all moved on. Too dramatic, nonsense, irrational.
It's not irrational. I think what you can say is there's probably a third of that starting team won't peak at Rugby World Cup 2027. So after this summer, I think the smart coaches go, right, thank you. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
We now need to give 20, 30 caps to the next player who is going to peak at Rugby World Cup 27. And, smart coaches do that. They don't go to Rugby World Cup with a large percentage of their starting side as elder players, because the stats tell us Rugby World Cup is won by teams with an average age in their late 20s, right? Or 28. So there is a significant proportion of that Irish side are the wrong side of 30.
Yeah.
So, I think there will be big changes, depending on lines, depending on their summer tour, maybe November, just to secure a ranking for the draw. And then after that, I think that they might roll the dice on a lot of younger players.
I think it's time to really focus on Wales, as we've got you two. A lot of change, lads. Are we seeing good things? Are we seeing bad things? What did you make of the game? We'll start with you, the Fox.
Can we go with the board member first?
By the way, let's talk about what. How did you? How? What?
It's good. It's great being involved at a time of significant change. Yeah, it's really exciting.
Are you driving
it's
change or just collecting the expenses?
Oh, well done. I'm a non-exec, so I go and I speak my mind. And
you're normally wearing a blazer around Cardiff.
I thought Ken Owens was the shoe-in for board level and blazering, but you've surpassed that, because he's not involved, Ken, is he? He reckons he's rattled too many feathers. Like, how is the most placatory Nosy McNaws rattled a few feathers?
Ken, I was with Ken this weekend, but
great man.
No, there is significant change. Obviously, there's the union over the next couple of months are going to recruit for 2 significant roles within rugby.
Yeah.
Director of rugby and head coach, and Wales has gone through a difficult 18 months. You're looking, as I said, it's a privilege to be involved at a time of change. You know, when everything's going rosy, it's a bit happier, isn't it? But it's good to be involved at a time when there's challenging conversations happening. And
do you feel like you're able to challenge? Do you challenge? Are you honest?
Mate, without a doubt. And I think when you're in that boardroom, you've got to be. You've got to be.
They would never let me in because I'm
not
anywhere near it, mate. Yeah,
grenade
like Ari off suit. In Entourage, he has the gun.
Honestly, if they put me in charge of the RFU, I would be walking around with a paintball gun, just marking people. You're fired. You're useless. You go. You're awful.
But do you know what? Like I've that Ireland game, we saw an improvement, didn't we? Let's bring this back to the game now. We saw an improvement. The last half hour on the weekend was brilliant.
Yeah.
And you see that Welsh spirit and stuff. But got to commend Scotland first half, boys. I thought they were brilliant. We got blown off the park first half. I was really worried half time this could be 50. But somehow Wales came out the change rooms and showed what they're all about.
But was the job done though? That's the thing.
Yeah.
It was like the reaction after Ireland was always going to happen.
Yeah.
The boys needed to put a performance in.
Is that new coach syndrome then, or was that?
Well, you could obviously the analogy is with football. Like there's always a reaction.
Yeah.
But I think it was disappointing to see the start how like easy Scotland seemed to score. They were good, but it was just disappointing. And then obviously we did show what we can do with the ball, but like when you're 35 points up, you know what it's like. Sometimes you just switch off and you enjoy the ride. But
that's always been Scotland's problem as well.
Yeah. Well, it happened a couple of years ago,
yeah.
didn't they? Against Wales, and that's one thing that the boys just kept playing for the 80, but the game was lost at that point when they went ahead.
But encouraging the last 20 minutes.
Yeah. No, look, boys can play.
Yeah.
And it's just making sure that, whatever, the talent we have is as having a system that suits our talent.
Yeah.
Not having, trying to fit the players into a style. It's that we want to see, right, whatever we're going to be good at, let's use that as our point of difference.
Because it is interesting, you said they can play and they've got style because, 6 sessions before, autumns before, they didn't look like they could play. They weren't playing a style of rugby that was great. I know you can never fault the effort, you can never fault the ability, but
I think that's credit to Matt Sherratt and what he's brought. Is an attacking brand of rugby, but the lads they look really engaged in, and it brings out the strengths of the individuals. Ben Thomas at 12, play flat to the line.
Yeah.
But Jared Evans was brilliant when he came on the weekend. Max Llewellyn, picking short lines, does what he does best at Gloucester. So all the players are bringing their strengths to that team.
Well, it's interesting you said that because obviously when you get selection right, coaching is relatively straightforward. I've got a great quote from you, Jamie, in the Times. When I look back at the quality of my teammates, I think they would have made it to the top of the game regardless of who coached them. Cream rises, right? Again, no disrespect to Warren, but it is interesting players that he wasn't picking. This coach has picked, and they're playing well.
Yeah, I believe in that.
Yeah.
I played with some, like this man alongside me, whoever coached this guy. Look at Alan Wins and your Warburtons. These guys, geez, they're brilliant players, regardless of who coached them.
Yeah,
They would have made it. But yeah, it's just picking players and positions.
Yeah.
Max is a big one. I'm a big fan of Max. He went to my school. He's a similar player to what I was. He picks great lines. He's a really smart rugby player.
So nothing like you then.
Yeah, nothing like me. nothing like me, lad. And I'd see him miss out. It kind of took me back a bit.
Yeah.
I was like, man,
And
this
he's
guy
been
is.
playing very well for
And he's been
Gloucester.
playing very well for clubs. He can be that focal point for backline. The
Yeah.
best test
Yeah.
sides now in world rugby have that focal point in their backline, whether it's 12 or 13, doesn't matter where it is.
Like Bundyaki does it so well.
Aki, you look at DLND for South Africa. Look at the great All Black sides down the years. They've always had that. Ollie Lawrence for England. Unfortunately, he's injured now, but and Max is that player, and it's great to see him in the last couple of games carry and dent opposition and create space for other people.
I'm going to put you on the spot. Who would you want to see coaching Wales?
I think we need someone that's going to be there for like a good while. Like it's going to take 5 to 7 year appointment. Someone who has a good relationship with the regions. I've talked about Simon Easterby. I think he still lives in Wales. He has a good relationship with most of the
Hell of a
regions.
commute that.
Oh, he's just, straight over Aer Lingus, like. But no, I think he's worked under Joe Schmidt, Andy Farrell, working with Paul O'Connell, like great rugby knowledge, and he would have seen excellence on how Ireland descended to the world number one. So he has plenty of experience. I think he would be a great appointment. And then I've talked about Lee Blackett as attack coach.
Yeah.
I think Lee Blackett is a brilliant coach, and
He was a great guy.
yeah,
Really nice guy. as
great
well.
bloke. So I think my dream appointment would be like those two working together, and then get Sean back. Is it?
Yeah. What about you, Jamie? Same? Different?
Someone. Well,
You're
this
allowed to
goes
say
without
as the
saying.
board?
Oh, of course, I can give my opinion.
NDAs
I
now.
give my
We're
opinion.
all signing NDAs now.
For me, just someone who can connect and inspire the lads.
Yeah.
That's obvious to say.
Yeah.
That's what you want any coach to do. And I guess we need to decide: is that a coach who's been there and done it,
Yeah.
who's won trophies, who's maybe won Rugby World Cup or won Six Nations trophies or domestic trophies, versus a coach who's ready to take the next step up.
Yeah.
Because you kind of this tier one mafia of coaching.
Just rolling from one job to the other.
It's very hard to break into. It feels that
Yeah.
way sometimes, doesn't
Yeah.
it? And at some point, people have to take a punt on club coaches and
Yeah.
go, right, you're ready for the next step, because we see attributes in you that we think we can get the best out of this team.
Well, it's the old sort of belief that you want experience, but no one will give you the experience, so you can't get it. Like, how do I get experience for a job you won't give me? Someone's got
Do
to
you
take a
recruit
punt.
on experience or potential?
Yeah, yeah.
So it's that.
It's the
that-
process the WIU have to do to make sure they get the right man for the group of players that's going to be there the next 5 to 7 years. Not
Is that
making-
John, I'll ask you, is that regardless of performance at Rugby World Cup in 2 years?
No,
is
no.
this a 2+4 job?
Yeah.
Yeah, I
or
think
is it a back this coach
obviously we
for-
want to be successful in the World Cup, and then hopefully a coach will build in 2 years, but then it has to be a stable environment. Not give him guaranteed. Performance is expected, but you want to see an improvement in the next World Cup, and then going on, then building, and someone that wants to be there for that long. You don't want a coach who's going to go quick fix.
Yeah.
Get a couple of good results, buggers off to the next job.
Yeah.
So that's what we don't want. And then hopefully the union are looking down that road instead of a quick fix.
And also, it seems like it's a much bigger job than just coaching the team. It's kind of getting everyone back on side, communicating properly, building a bit more of a legacy, understanding how they can drive. But
that takes a certain person and
yeah,
skill set.
Yeah.
Right. So it's important we recruit the right person, no doubt about that.
We've obviously had Jack Morgan a number of times has come up in conversation, particularly with our Howden Lions watch, as a player that's going to go. Just in your opinion, how good is he? I think he's brilliant. What do you think?
I think he's been best 7 at the tournament.
Yeah.
Hands
Heard it
down.
here first.
It's hard to disagree, isn't it? I mean, this guy.
So our Howden Lions watch is saying we actually got spot on. You're welcome.
Sorry, John, I don't want to cut
No,
across
you
it.
carry on.
I think he's got all the tools. I mean, this guy has humility. He's got work rate. Supremely skilled athlete. He's a unit. He's low to the ground.
Are you talking about me?
No, definitely not.
We said
this
supremely
guy
talented
reminds
leader.
me. He reminds me of a lower set Richard Hill.
Really?
Richard Hill in his prime.
Yeah.
Just an absolute brute.
Yeah.
But had a fantastic pace, fantastic skill set. In the contact area, I don't think there's a better player in the British Island and Britain and Ireland at the minute. In attack or D, he's sublime. And he's operating level. Someone mentioned the kind of Parise syndrome at the minute. He's operating at a level far above his peers at the minute. When you watch Wales play, this guy is world class every time he plays. I think the weekend was his best performance.
Yeah, he's phenomenal and just a great bloke as well. I played with him with the Scarlets, and mate, honestly, like on a Sunday after a game, he'd go down to his local club, have a couple of pints with the old man, and just like have a good crack. And he's just so
With
laid
blood all
back.
over his face.
Really?
Yeah.
He's definitely not me. That sounds humble and down to earth.
Yeah,
relating to the
he's not like
community.
you at all.
You
and
wouldn't have got me
that, but
anywhere near that. What about you, Johnny? Did you ever go down to your local rugby club? You still here?
No, I'm still here. No, I go back. I've gone back a couple of times to do like the end of year awards, but I wouldn't. Yeah.
Did you charge him? Yeah, you didn't.
No,
Nah, you wouldn't. It's humble.
But no, I wouldn't go for. I wouldn't go for drinks on a Sunday at a rugby club.
Fine.
No,
That's all right. And that's why we'll never be described as sublime or humble.
Yeah.
Is he in the conversation for captaincy of the Lions? Because the way he's playing.
Yeah.
Do you think he's the best seven?
Well, you've got to have a guaranteed start as your captain. And, everyone's talking about Doris being a guaranteed starter, and the captain has the last, missing the Wales game and the France result, affected his
I thought
stake for it.
he played well against France.
Yeah,
Doris,
he did.
in a losing
His
side.
work rate is huge. Itoje, he's going to be in the conversation. I think Jack is in there.
Yeah.
Because at the moment there isn't a seven that's playing better than him.
No.
So
I agree with you. I think he's in the conversation. I think it's Doris's to lose. We're back to Andy Farrell, familiarity.
yeah.
Pick your side, 20 names probably before the Six Nations. It's Doris's to lose for me because of one, that I think it'll be quite island heavy, that squad. The fact Doris has won domestic titles, he's won Six Nations titles, he's led successful teams.
Yeah.
And he's first name on the team sheet at 8 for me with his quality.
Do we know what he's like as a captain? Because I met him, really nice guy. I'm a massive fan of him as a player. Yeah. Seems great. I wonder what kind of style. Do you guys have any insight? I don't know. I wonder because I wonder what Jack Morgan like. Is he Churchillian speeches, or is he follow me into battle, do as I do? And
I think the latter.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Jack, he comes across as that guy.
He wouldn't be a massive chatter before a game. He'd just be like 3 or 4 clear points, and then you just know he's just kind of lead from the front.
Probably like Sam in that respect.
Yeah.
Sam Warburton was,
He's more chatty now, Sam, than ever. Isn't he? I went to your testimonial dinner. He's like, he's
steals the mic.
Well, when he steals the mic, but he steals the mic. He's very gregarious. As a player, he's quite quiet. But then I think he's brilliant as a commentator. He's got a lot to say, and he doesn't mind being controversial. I'm unintentional.
Being controversial, being honest.
Sorry, that's what I mean. But the freedom to have the confidence to be honest.
Yeah.
I still feel. That I'm honest about certain things on here, but sometimes when I get interviewed in the media, I still don't really give my full opinion because there's certain things I just know that if I actually told the truth,
yourself,
well, I am true to myself. But I just worry that I blow the doors off a few things. What about Maritoji? You never got to sort of work under him as captain, but do you think he's
captain?
in there?
But he's a leader. He's a leader when he's captain and not captaincy.
Yeah,
he has a presence. Do you know what I mean? An instant respect and a presence about everything he does. He's a world-class player.
He starts at Itoje.
Yeah.
Without a doubt. Whether he's captain or not, he starts and he's a leader in that side.
Yeah.
Well, we'll come on because we've got the Howden Lions watch later on and you can put your own sort of spin on it and choose. But we've got one more game to go. England, Italy. You touched on it a little bit. Firstly, Ollie Lawrence, massive loss. I think he was probably the player of the tournament for England, perhaps, in my opinion.
He's going well.
And it's not just England's hopes. I say hopes. There's one game left, but Bath. He is almost not single-handedly after the demise of Worcester. Obviously, Ollie, Ted Hill, and other have gone to Bath, and it feels like almost single-handedly this guy has transformed Bath as a player. So that could be a big dent for Bath as well. wonderful player, and without doubt in the conversation for the Lions.
Yeah.
So if that injury is as feared,
Yeah, we talked
it's
about
desperately sad.
We talked about like your midfield figureheads.
Yeah.
And like you said, Ollie Lawrence was definitely growing into that. And you could see the confidence he was growing at the start, the carry out the back door. He was really finding his feet at international level. And it's, if it is as bad as it's feared, it's a huge, huge loss.
Our producer, Tom, he came in today and he basically said, obviously, after 7 tries for England, that he, as an England fan, it was slightly strange because he sort of lacked a bit of cortisol, a bit of that kind of, jeopardy, a bit of kind of adrenaline, and the fact that the last 20 minutes they didn't kind of really finish it off, John. I mean, do you want to give your take on it?
No, I mean, I spoke to the lads in camp the weeks or two before the game, and they said there is a mindset shift going into this game. We don't want to box kick it as much. We're going to go attack. We're throwing our eggs in the adapt basket, and they certainly did that. It was better. That group's had exposure to, do you know what I mean, trying to play a bit more rugby and get some partnerships going, and they're young guys experiencing this and moving the ball and expressing themselves. It wasn't perfect, but there were some nice bits in there.
It was definitely a tempo change.
Yeah, the tempo change.
Quick kick-offs really quickly, where they and when Marcus Smith was trying to get the Italian defence to keep coming up when they kicked, and then the line was set quickly, and they get that back to
so
them.
they wanted to go out there and attack, and I think Steve probably thought the first few games were going to be difficult games to beat, maybe not the right time to push on with attack. Let's just grind out, and winning's a habit. That's important to get under our belt. He got a couple of wins. I'd just be really interested to see now what he does tactically.
I was going to say,
against...
how do they beat Wales?
I'd love just to go put the roof on and just go, let's just go attack and just like bet at it. Do you know what I mean? Like, wouldn't that just be brilliant to watch? Just see, like, let's just rip both teams really, just go at it. Like, yeah, we're going to battle up hard and D up, but like we're going to come out with wanting to win. Do you know what I mean?
I can't see Wales making the same mistake again. First half D, we just concede, right?
Yeah.
I just can't see that. I can't see Wales being that lax again in the first half.
Does Steve go back to a little bit more conservative away from home and knowing how good you guys are going to be?
Percentages. Think,
you
right,
guys,
I take a win. We're not going to do 80
yeah.
points
No.
or 100 points, whatever it is.
But what are the chances of that of them actually doing that? Because we always talk about this every week, and as kind of fans and commentators, we kind of sit back and we're not involved. It's very difficult to do that, to go out there and say we're just gonna play, because you got to deal with 15, very, very good Welsh rugby players and sort of have to play with what's in front of you.
And it's Wales, England, and Cardiff, mate.
Yeah.
I mean, you boys have been there, right? It's it's for our lads. It evokes a different emotional response when they get on the bus.
Because you do know the writing is potential on the wall to go down there, and the Six Nations has been a mixed bag for you. Gatland's been fired. You've got some players. You've had some big moments. You've lost out narrowly, and then you beat us.
And then
disregard what's gone before.
Yeah.
For this
There's a song where it's stereophonic, isn't it? As long as we beat the
It would be
English.
That's what I mean. You can see it happening. I was going to say, just from your point of view on England's performance, I mean, Jamie, you were very enthusiastic about it, but we did more offloads in that game than we'd done in the previous 6 games.
Yeah.
The question would be from fans, why aren't they doing it more often? And how do they keep their sort of foot on the gas with this?
I think it's just like backing it up. I think the big thing was they had good collision dominance. I think their momentum and the way they played, their structures really created one-on-ones, which allowed them to get, their offloads, their arms free. Like I mentioned, Ollie Lawrence, who he had a low tackle and no one else assisting. He had his arms free to offload.
Yeah.
I think for whose try was it? Is it
Ellis Genge did really well that little offload, got the ball back to Marcus Smith. Marcus Smith on the outside break.
And then Jamie George turning his back, giving that little pass.
That mad offload from I think Maro Itoje to
that's nice hands,
to Curry, and then Alex Mitchell, quick hands, to slide home to score in the corner.
It's the attitude to risk, isn't it?
Yeah,
when you watch France in Dublin, they were offloading without even looking, because they knew their teammates would be there. I think it was that Budenhant try that Luku goes through, just chucks the ball. He knows there's going to be some.
Chucks it out the back.
Out the back. Luku doesn't even look. That is that attitude to risk, and sometimes in these games, fortune favours the brave, doesn't it? You've got to kind of just shift on that dial and just go for it. And England did that on the weekend.
Yeah, I think we just got to make sure, as from a Welsh point of view, is that like we got to win those collisions. That gain line bar, we always talk about it, don't we? It's just like that's key to the victory in terms of how the style of play you want to play is a result from that.
John, I just want to touch lastly on Finn Smith. How impressed are you with him? His kicking was brilliant. It looks like Johnny Wilkinson 2.0. What are your thoughts?
He's been fantastic. He's been amazing with what he's done at Saints. He's stepped in at the deep end. What was it? France? Was it France? The game he came in for?
Yeah.
The game they stepped in at the deep end, and he rose to the challenge. He's been brilliant, but it just creates difficult conversations around other quality, and I was speaking to lads about it yesterday at the game, and I think I don't worry about Marcus because he's just such a good player. I was just like, just let it unfold a bit. Do you know what I mean? Like, and God, it did yesterday. Ollie Lawrence, just got to let things unfold in rugby sometimes. Like, Ollie gets hurt, Marcus comes on, really pleased for him to have a good game. Where's he going to end up? What's going to happen? But at the moment, Finn's doing really well.
Yeah.
Great player. It's great to have more than one player. Great.
Yeah.
Like, we've had Owen Farrell
That's why we've
and
got two of
George
the
Ford.
Greatest here that play together.
Those two battling at it will bring the best out in each of them.
Can Finn go on the Lions tour?
Who do I?
Finn Smith.
He has the composure too. Like when he's on the ball.
Like I'd love as many English guys to go, but like my thought process, I look at it as a thought. I don't want to get drawn into looking like this, and I think like so you Marcus and Finn, Russell. And then we've probably got a spot for the young,
Smith.
Maybe. So that's probably what those are the decisions that he's probably got. Where of course, like what Finn and Marcus have done for so long now, like they've earned that right, in my opinion.
I think if England go down to Wales and get the win with Finn Smith at 10, I think he's ascending closer to going than Prendergast because
big tick, isn't it?
That's France. Italy, Wales, that's
But his goal kick is good as well, isn't it? So so that's about. We talked about that being an important thing. If you go with, I don't obviously Finn Russell, but because Marcus, I don't want Marcus for kicking percentages, but he gets it all right, doesn't he?
Do you see him in his try? I found him quite funny when he ran out.
Mate.
He ran out. He's like, right, Finn Smith,
there you go.
I want to get back in the team. Right, get your percentage right now.
If that's me scoring the try, which I never would if I would never one-on-one go round someone. Jeez, that was never me.
You just go through him, though.
I just go. If I did that, I would get a serious bollocking from my coach.
Yeah,
I guarantee you. Yeah. With that, I know that game wasn't close.
No, I know what you mean.
Come the end, but in Test rugby, man,
you are right. I've had. Sometimes it's addressed, isn't it? And sometimes it's not, but it is.
Well, people were saying about Dylan van der Merwe when he scored that try for Scotland. Should you run under? But at the end of the day,
his one was. I don't think his one. I don't think his one was that bad, but like it's significant. Yeah. We had one in we won fine, but like he could have easily run under the post, and he scores it on the 5.
I do think someone did bollock him on the pitch, though. Apparently, I think someone had a word and was like, "Come on." Fucking flash fuck.
Don't sweat the small things.
Don't swan dive out in the corner.
But I do like
that next job.
I was like, he's kicking this. He's thinking about the percentages.
Yeah, next job.
Yeah. Imagine if you out right to the corner and looking at him.
Yeah. And hand the ball to the outside.
Yeah.
That would be hell. Last point, James, I come to you obviously purely because you played in Australia. What would Joe Schmidt make of this weekend? Question marks surrounding the 4 nations.
Well, mate, the Aussie Super Rugby sides have started the tournament brilliantly. You watch any of their games now, the speed of RUCK, their efficiency at the RUCK is brilliant. Mate, a lot of their ball carrying powers are really developing up front. Some superstar backs. Anyone who had a thought that this Lions series would be the result would be a foregone conclusion is kidding themselves. Yeah. Like the quality, it's Australian sport at home. I mean, I'm married to an Australian. I know how competitive they are. Right? the Aussies are going to be very, very difficult side to beat in the summer.
Yeah. It's amazing how 4 months ago, we were talking about should we even tour Australia? Yeah. That's what it might have been Alex Payne just saying that, but certainly somebody said that in my sphere. Going, should we even tour there? Is there any point? Have the wheels come off? Are they even going to be competitive after the World Cup? It's again, just that little bit of rationality in sport.
And I think what's intriguing is the announcement Joe Schmidt leaving. Is that going to affect the Australian team dynamic?
Yeah.
Like I've played in a team knowing that the coach is leaving at the end of the year.
It could be positive as well, John.
Yes, but like it could be positive, it could be really negative. But like, yes, the Aussie teams have started really well, but I'd be intrigued to see what the dynamic's like.
It's
And
great seeing this chemistry between you two. Is this what it's like in the field? You were like, "Oh, I'm not sure we're going to do that." And you're like, "Come on, bud, come on.
Yeah.
Hey, we can do that. We can do that." Really, one's really positive.
Healthy debate.
Yeah.
Healthy debate. Was it?
Yeah.
Healthy debate. And who won? Because
Always.
normally I have a healthy debate with like Alex and Mike, and basically agree that they were right all along, and we just do what they want to
Depends
do.
who was playing better on the day.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah.
I love that. I love. Who was the coach's favourite? Surely it was you, wasn't it? Oh, really? I thought you were the coach's favourite. You were a bit of a teacher's pet. Apple
no,
There we are. Well, look, Howden Lions Watch. Now, we're obviously extremely proud to say that ahead of the tour this summer, we have teamed up with the principal partner of the British and Irish Lions and our favourite global insurance brokers, Howden. I love them. Howden will be helping ensure greatness for our boys in red out in Australia. It's time for our Howden Lions Watch, where we will discuss who we think should be on the plane come June. We've already got Will Stewart, Maro Itoje, Jack Morgan, Rory Darge, Tom Curry, Jamison Gibson Park, Sam Prendergast, James Lowe, Blair Kinghorn in the squad. We've obviously touched on the 10s. We don't need to go into detail with that. Having two of the best centres to play the game, two Welsh legends. Suit you, sir. We need to find a couple of centre pairings.
A couple of centre pairings.
Well, not
or
couples.
one?
Well, a pairing.
They
Two
can be a
players,
couple.
a couple.
We got midweek team. We got
Yeah.
test team.
I love it. Whatever you want.
Yeah.
test.
Test. Let's go test.
Yeah. Well,
Test
should we
pairing.
start with the squad? I think the Irish and Scots are ahead of the race in this. And when it comes to the midfield, and you look at, let's off the back of Ollie's injury, let's assume he's ruled out because it looks serious. Look, I think Aki and Tuipulotu are the front runners at 12. Regardless of the fact Sione hasn't played in this tournament, I think he's shown enough when he's fully fit that he's one of the best 12s out there. So I think they go. That's 12s. I was going to talk about the 13s, but I'll let John do that.
But we've got one of the best 13s ever to do it. So
Thank you very much. I would go Hugh Jones is in the front runner to be test starter. I think he's playing with a real confidence, plays a real pace as well. He seems when he gets the ball, he puts speed onto the ball. I remember Sean Edwards, coaching. One of the things he used to say to me was like, whenever you get the ball in your hands, always put speed onto it. And Hugh Jones is doing that really well and playing with confidence. So I'd say he's in the front running position there.
Tom Jordan, he seems to be making a bit of.
Yeah, he got some, but again, I think he's taking his chance, which is good to see with Tuipulotu being injured. It's whether or not Henshaw's versatility at 12 and 13 gets him on the plane a centre there. And do they go a fifth centre or not? I don't know. It all depends on the makeup, whether or not they
Gary
think.
Ringrose can play on the wing as well.
Yeah.
So it does depend on the makeup. I agree. Hugh Jones and Robbie Henshaw, those two Scots, two Irish are the front runners at the minute. Now you got Slady, who can play across the back line, is a utility back.
Elliot can sneak in there again.
He's a great player, and dare I say it, Llewellyn's gone really well the last couple of games.
Yeah.
So if he plays well next weekend, he could be in the conversation as well. But I think the Irish and the Scots at the minute in the midfield.
I think they go Aki and Hugh Jones are the two that are really.
I'm going to go Tuipulotu, Hugh Jones.
So we've got Aki, Tuipulotu, Hugh Jones. Johnny, any other names to put in the mix?
I think you might have mentioned them already, but for me, zooming out again, like how good James Lowe and Van der Merwe have been consistently for so long, like those two are my starters. And then I think
Both on the left wing, though. Both left
you
wingers.
put Duan on the right.
Does that doesn't matter? Yeah, as a winner.
It's not. It
I
does,
got my first cap on the wing.
It does.
But I wasn't
It does.
a winger.
It does a little bit, but like he'll get over it. He'll be fine.
Really?
He'll be
Even at
fine.
that
You
level?
want to be a test
Yeah.
line? Yep. I'll play anyway.
Yeah, I'll do anything.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he'll get. The
That
reason you
surprises me.
keep James there because he's got a left cannon.
Yeah.
Whereas like he's not a kicking winger, so he'll be fine on the right. You do that, and then Tommy Freeman's been very good on the wing,
Great.
and his utility. He can also play 13. I think he's got a bit more about. He's a bit more about him. He's got a very good chance, and then Darcy Graham sharp. Ollie Slightholmer sharp. They were quite similar, like nuggety, beat defenders, fast, rapid, dangerous.
But you always out the mould of what Eddie Jones wanted. He always wanted one workhorse winger and one speedster.
Yeah, racehorse and a workhorse. Yeah.
Yeah. And do you feel that as well? Is that something you would do if you were coaching the Lions?
I just picked the best two, And like the best two for the longest period of time now has been James Lowe. In fact, they've been scoring and they've been up there in the best wingers in the world for like a good long period of time. So they deserve that. But there's some interesting, some very good guys below them. It's a shame for Manny Boso, because if the way he was going, he could have been really pushing them. And imagine having him on. Maybe I still would have gone with those two for the experience, but to have him on the bench. He's a cannon
Is he
of
got
energy.
enough credit in the bank or not?
Who?
Manny Boso.
I'm not sure if he's going to be fit in time.
Potentially.
But that's a wild card option. But like you've also got, like I said, you've got
Ollie
Slightholme and Darcy Graham, and they're like they're doing it now. They're
Graham
doing
Murray's
it right
been playing
now.
well for Wales at 15, but he can play on the wing. But yeah, James Lowe he's
good.
Been amazing.
He's amazing.
Against a Lion and a Lion then, probably, wouldn't he?
I think it's incredible. Well, look, so the players, we've got Aki, Tubelotu and Hugh Jones. We've got Vandermeer, Freeman, Darcy Graham are in our squad, joining Will Stewart, Maratoji, Jack Morgan, Rory Darge, Tom Curry, Jamison Gibson Park, Sam Prendergast, James Lowe, Blair Kinghorn. And we've got one round of the Six Nations to play out. So whether it's ensuring your local rugby club, the important things at home, or safeguarding your business from cybersecurity to climate risk and everything in between, when Howden has you covered, you can achieve great things. You can now have your say on who has stepped up to make the tour using the hashtag Lions 2025 squad. Pick 3 crucial team selections, captain, first pick and wildcard, for a chance to be at the first 2 tests in Australia, courtesy of Howden. Howden just keep giving, bro. Pick your team in the link in the episode description. On a final note, obviously I've talked about how good Howden is. They keep giving on every level. We've actually got a couple of gift bags for you, which I'd like to give you here.
Thank you.
Thank you, Howden. It's the thought that counts. But we've obviously covered all the games. We've done a review. We're looking forward to England versus Wales. You touched on it in your answer, Jamie. Just emotionally, it hits different. If they do beat us, it'll be job done. Celebrations down Chip Alley.
Yeah, Chip Alley. Geez, what a place. It does hit different. I think it's important the Welsh embrace that. And I mean, you tell me, boys, as English, it's probably the side you hate playing the most, right? Because you know the Welsh, Wales v England, the history of the game, the nature of those battles down the years has been, absolutely incredible. So, there's no motivation. There's no motivation for the Welsh. You don't need to really talk about it. I reflect on some of the great moments. 2013, we were both privileged to play in, England for the Slam, come over the Severn Bridge, right? And if I remember that week, we trained terribly. We absolutely horrendous.
You didn't train.
I didn't train. I had my medical finals. I didn't train.
Yeah.
I had my exams that week. But I remember on the captain's run, we dropped the ball 3 or 4 times, going through stuff. Just the morning of the game, no one really spoke about the game. There's a kind of mutual appreciation that can't lose today, boys. No. You can't let England parade the trophy around Cardiff. I mean, we wouldn't be seen dead in the streets of Cardiff if you lose that game as proud Welshmen. So it's it brings an emotional response unlike any other game. But cool heads, boys. Yeah. Cool heads.
What can the England fans expect when they go there? If they have, so some people get lucky to get tickets. Some
how
people
many
won't.
Get there? How many English fans do you get there?
I wouldn't know exactly, but I remember in 20.
What, you mean you haven't prepared? You haven't got
sorry, I'm with the stats.
Yeah.
But I remember in 2013 that game when God Save the Queen was sung. I was like, Jesus Christ, there's a few of them here today.
Oh, really? Okay.
And then obviously when we sang our anthem, there I was like, oh no, we're fine.
Yeah.
We're fine.
It's unlike any other Welsh national anthem.
But that game was just like the whole atmosphere, because as we get in the bus in, it stopped probably like 2 miles from the stadium, and it had all of your boys' quotes on the TV screens. So we stopped, TV screens dropped down, and it was like, we're going to Cardiff to win a Slam. We're not scared of the Millennium Stadium. This is blah, blah, blah. And all the boys just frothing at the mouth.
Any of Hask's quotes?
I didn't have, mate. I was a bit part player. It was under Stuart Lancaster. I was seen as surplus requirements. I was on the bench. It was my 50th cap. And he brought me on with 10 minutes ago when we were losing 33 points to something. So thank you, Stuart. I really appreciate it. I never got to lead out my country and team. I've never got over it. But that was a very disappointing day. That Jonny, what scares you about this Welsh side, if anything?
You just how they spoke, and just then how big a fixture it is for them. It's hard for us to meet that emotional energy that you can create, because we have to face it when we play Ireland and Scotland. And
What's
Wales
what's
and
like a
Italy.
bigger game for you guys? Like when
I think
was it the Calcutta Cup?
No. I'll be honest with you. So from our side, because we never had that emotional animosity. Or I certainly didn't.
You love the Welsh.
I loved everyone. Like honestly, like everybody loved everybody. Like
Jackie Moon.
Jackie Moon.
Yeah.
I didn't like losing. I liked to be competitive, and I wanted to be the best version of myself. So I didn't have those emotional drivers. I just knew coming to Cardiff, it was always going to be really physical. It was going to be challenged, and if you didn't respect you guys, there would be an issue. But I knew it was going to be physical. But I didn't ever had that animosity, and I never had that for any of the teams I played.
Yeah.
There was in my career, there's probably a couple of players where I'd have head-on-head stuff, or like you want to do well, but actually I didn't have that, so it's very difficult to emotionally talk about it, because I'd still get myself up for a game, but it would be driven by my own desire to perform.
I think when you go on a Lions tour as well, when you have like better relationship with like the English-based players, and it takes away then that emotion.
Yeah.
It's more than, like you said, it's like
for the
more
supporters.
business. It's the supporters. That's like.
Yeah. But it does add to the day. You can't help but not notice
It's
it.
incredible.
But I just think as well, because especially the age group stuff with England playing against, Wales for me were always the toughest, most physical, difficult teams I played at under 16s, under 18s, under 19s, under 21s. You'd always go and play. I remember Lee Thomas, Bomber. I remember playing against like...
You were that old, were you?
Yeah, I'm that old, bro. He's older than me, but I remember watching him play like Wales under 18s and him just barreling over people, like running over skittling little posh public school boys like they were nothing. And obviously all the Welsh were a bit rougher, few rascal tattoos, street well, you know what I mean, just all sort of, and everyone hated you, and you're a bit like, well, I just don't hate anyone. It was just really lovely to be here. And so that was a bit of a wake up call. And then you went and played down there, and it was physical, and it was aggressive. But I never had that. But I always felt that you'd always suddenly go, oh God, there'll be an extra momentum, an extra desire. And when you're stupid enough to let them have the roof closed, I mean, don't get me wrong. If it's pissing with rain, 100% have the roof closed. I don't care. I'd much rather play indoors. I never want to play out in the rain ever. But also letting them do it when it's a dry day and keep the roof closed. It's the only stadium I've ever had where the crowd actually made a physical difference to the performance.
It was closed on the weekend.
It's closed on the weekend, and it becomes so loud. And I remember my debut, 2007. We were 5 meters out from the Welsh line. They were 5 points ahead, and we were close to scoring. And it became so loud that it was like someone pushing on the top of your head. You were like, it just filled every sort of orifice, I was going to say, but every kind of pore and every kind of sort of sense was
like
triggered.
Pressure on you.
Yeah, like a pressure, which everyone always talks about the crowd, the importance of the crowd. I mean, at Twickenham, they're like, quietly go, England, or swing low, sweet chariot. It's not really that intimidating. In Wales, everyone's going completely fucking mental. And so, it is quite terrifying. But
I think Wales need more than just emotion on the weekend.
Yeah.
It's going to take more.
Smarter.
Because this England, exactly, John. This England side, probably on paper, is stronger.
Yeah.
You look at the quality of that England team at the minute. Wales just have to be smarter. I think defensively, that first half in Murrayfield, that can't happen again. We can't let England get 15, 20 points ahead in the first quarter.
I'm just interested to see where Steve he's obviously done his conservative bit at the start, and then he's let them go out and play a little bit more in this game. Where does he try and get it just right?
He could quite easily. They could finish second if they win, don't they?
Yeah.
So is it a case of performance-wise to him in his job, security?
Yeah.
Is
win
it
the game.
win the game, and then
There's
whatever
definitely
happens?
that going on in his head, like winning games and developing team and playing in a style and ambitious.
But if
and
the RFU
style.
top honchos or whatever came down now today and said, look, we want to see more of that, what we saw, just go to Cardiff and have a crack, and if you lose, it's not the end of the world, but we want to develop this style of play. It'd be interesting whether or not he has that confidence or sense of security, I think.
Are there any selection issues for Wales this week?
Yeah, there are. There is. If Dewi Lake is fit to play, he's fit to start. I know that's easy to say in hindsight. He was fit to play in Murrayfield. I think he should have started.
Yeah.
I think he can be that influential. He's that quality player in that pack that brings players together. There's an argument for Teddy to start in the second row. I think he was great off the bench. And Jared Evans or Gareth Anscombe. I think Jared might have shown enough just in his ability to play really flat to the line and bring other players into it to maybe have a chance on kick-off this weekend.
we've got a Continental Tires question of the week, and it's a question from Telegraph reader Tony West, and it says, I've always thought that Daly should play at 13. He even looks a bit like Conrad Smith. What do you think?
I think his early career with Wasps, he was brilliant at 13. Huge amount of pace and, fast enough to play on the wing. But at 13 was even more of a threat with that. And obviously, his left foot and stuff like that. And he had a great, currently he seems to have a great calmness, and he seems to be enjoying his rugby, not much pressure on him. You saw him yesterday, he was just like, he just enjoyed it. And that then, gives you confidence and clarity, and you just go out there and play. So, yeah, I think, not that he hasn't had a great career, but he can definitely do the job at 13, I think.
He has this rare ability, something I was very jealous of, that he didn't look like he was trying when he was running, and he was rapid. Yeah. You had it. Yeah. We definitely didn't.
Didn't have it.
You had it.
You had it.
No,
it
I was
looks like he's jogging.
And people thought he can't be that quick.
We looked like we were really trying to run fast. He looks like he's jogging.
Yeah.
And he's absolutely rapid. Top player. I think if he plays 13, you need a ball carrier at 12.
Yeah.
I don't think you can play a Slade and Daly in the midfield. Yeah. I think you need more punch if he's going to play 13. I don't know if do you agree with that?
I don't know. I don't know whether I agree with that or not.
Well, use your brain. What's your inner voice saying?
I don't think it's desperately necessarily it depends if they're going to move the ball around. If they want to move,
Does that
move
leave
it.
you potentially compromised defensively or not?
Yeah, but if you want,
it's pretty good.
Who else have we got this week in the set? If we haven't got Lawrence anymore, who's our big centre now?
Yeah, who comes in the midfield for England?
That's what we have no idea. When they said, do they go with Dingwall and Slade, or do you go with Freeman
or
and
you
somebody?
Can go with you could go Dingwall and Freeman. And then we've got there's lots of other good wingers queuing up to play.
Oscar Beard's in the squad, but hasn't given any.
I don't think he'll get a go yet.
No.
But yeah, he's an exciting player.
He's good.
But yeah, for Elliot, a good mate of mine, annoyingly just good at everything.
Very talented.
Can play golf, can play table tennis, can play darts, snoot. He's just naturally gifted. Watching him at the weekend, it looks like it's easy for him.
Yeah.
Time, he can see the backfield space, puts it there, does it, and that's probably his his preferred position. It's just how it's worked out.
Yeah.
It is bizarre that he's an incredible centre and never really got to play centre.
He is the 13, but because he's so talented, and he's been so good, he's needed to be in the team, and there's been other people he's fitted around to make it work. But yeah, it's interesting. Do they go? Yeah, I think they probably.
And they've got Marcus at 15.
I think they probably do. I think they probably do go Dingwall
Daly.
Yeah. Dingwall Daly. Well, thank you very much, Tony, for your continental question of the week. Foxy, such a good-looking man. What really worries you, or what one thing worries you about this England side?
I think their growing confidence. I think the way they moved the ball yesterday was really impressive. Obviously, their power up front. As whenever you're playing, then you always know that, right, are we going to get parity up front, or will they have a bit of dominance? And their back three is exciting. Mm-hmm. There's some real gas. I remember when we used to play England, boys like yourself, Elliot, Anthony Watson, there was real pace and threat there. Oh, sorry, wingers.
Oh.
You always had the physicality, but I think the English back three is dangerous as well. So our kicking game has to be better than it was. But I think they seem a strong team and growing with confidence. And if the shackles are off like they were on the weekend, it could be a really entertaining game.
When you couple that with speed of ball at the breakdown, which were great at times against Italy, again reflecting on how easily Scotland cut us when the ball was that quick, we just had no answer. Mm-hmm. So England would have looked at that. And I think there's times against Italy, they look so dangerous, mate. They just went bend. Just you couldn't get back in D. You couldn't set. Again, add that to the pace Foxy's spoken about. It's pretty lethal. So we've got to be so strong over the ball on the weekend. We have to compete.
It's time for Mystic Mike's predictions, everyone's favourite time of the week, in partnership with our good friends at Haycar, where you can search thousands of quality used cars and then buy online or at your local dealership. We are really scraping the barrel here. We've gone with May Stick Meg. That's how good the writers are, the show are. Foxy's Futures and Jamie, Doctor's
Orders.
Doctor's Orders. Yeah, Doctor's Orders. Yeah, I like that. We'll go Doctor's Orders. Italy versus Ireland, 2:15. Tins has Ireland by 18. Foxy's futures, what do you have?
Yeah, I think Ireland 21.
21.
Ireland by 15.
May stick Meg.
Ireland by 20.
Wales versus England. We've got Tins, England by 14.
Wow.
Yeah.
Arrogance.
Yeah.
Arrogance, Michael.
Michael,
I'll get you
Michael,
nowhere in
don't give
Cardiff.
it-
Yeah, that'll get you nowhere in Cardiff.
Pin that up on the
They'll
screen.
get you
Yeah,
nowhere in Cardiff.
yeah.
Does Mike Tindall still have sway down in Cardiff? Do you think people would care what Mike Tindall says?
Nah.
Nah, it's current players. Nah, James like, nah. Don't worry, Tins, you're old news chief. You're just a disgruntled old rugby player that no one's interested in your opinion.
Wales by 2.
Wales by 2. I love you're such a people's favourite.
I'm going to be a bit less optimistic. Wales by 1.
Yeah.
England by 8.
I love it. You two just protect yourself against Wales online, aren't you?
I live
Yeah.
in Cardiff.
Yeah. Foxy
You know what,
Slam
I'm
Welsh
not.
team.
Yeah.
I'm not.
Doctor says they're rubbish. Yeah.
This
Oh.
is the game.
Or if
Bad
you WR board
diagnosis.
member doesn't have faith in Welsh team, I can see that now. innit?
Diagnosis bad.
Diagnosis bad. Terminal, says Jamie Roberts. Oh my God. What
This
do you?
is the game,
I was
boys.
8. England by 8.
England by 8. Okay. Now, last game, France versus Scotland. We have Tins giving France 14 against Scotland. Can Scotland do us a favour? Can Finn Russell pull it out the
No, France 19.
France 19?
France 25.
France 25.
You live in France as well.
You do.
No,
Tu habites en France.
no, France are 2. It's France by 14.
Nice. You've gone we've gone with Tins.
They're too strong.
So you don't think Scotland will be able to help us in any way?
I'd-
shape, or form?
I'd
Do you
love-
I'd want to.
I'd love it if they could. If it was at Murrayfield, it would maybe be a little bit different, but it's just not. And
Just up
yeah.
front, mate. Up
I know,
front.
they're so
It's-
big,
it's-
aren't they?
They've
it's
had
title
their,
on
they've
the
had
line,
their
no
game
chance.
against England.
Yeah.
That would have given them a chance to do it. That game's gone.
Yeah.
No, they're better than everybody else.
So regardless of Tins' accuracy, one thing is for certain that Haycar makes choosing your next car so easy. Whether you prefer an in-person experience at your local dealer or the convenience of online shopping, Haycar offers both. You can even have your new car delivered straight to your door for free. Thank you, Haycar. Plus, all their vehicles come with a warranty and a 10-day money-back guarantee. Terms and conditions apply. Explore more and discover their range at haycar.com/UK. Jamie, thank you so much for coming in. We really appreciate your time, your energy.
You in Cardiff?
I'm in Cardiff. Of course,
you're
I'm in Cardiff. I've got more jobs on.
No,
Got more jobs on the job centre. I'll be in and out there raking it in. Got a whole empty hole.
I hope the Ospreys fans, Nathan Swansea, enjoy
Yeah.
your DJ
I hope
sets.
so.
mate.
I mean, if Wales win, it'll be great. If
What
England
will your
win,
first song
tricky.
be in the set?
First song. Well, I'm actually I'm following on from Josh Navidi, so he will have set the tone. I think.
right.
I think they've done the whole England versus or England and Wales sort of team up. Do you know what? I need to look at the crowd because sometimes you go into it with a preconception, and then I actually played. What's the big one in Cardiff? I played there last year. It was like standing water on the floor. It was very sticky floors.
Walkabout.
Where there's walkabout.
Walkabout.
Played the walkabout after, and that was an interesting one. So I sort of had to go very commercial
Yeah.
Nice.
very soon. So
Win the crowd, win your freedom.
show me love, yeah. Win the crowd, win your freedom. Exactly. Well, thank you, Jamie.
Cheers, boys.
See if you hang around, Johnny.
Good to see you, mate.
Cheers, mate.
Yeah, cheers, lads.
Cheers, boy.
See you in the week.
It's time for Who the Ruck Is That, the rugby quiz show where grassroots heroes team up with rugby legends to win big for their club. Brought to you by our amazing partners at Watches of Bath who keep us on time and on point every week. So today we have Sean.
Hello.
You're representing Gordonians RFC.
Yes, exactly.
I love the pronunciation. Joining forces with Jonny May, who, by the way, we just need to let you know, we talked about it in the main show, has taken 2 sleeping pills instead of 2 anti-inflammatories. But he seems to be okay.
I've done all right.
And then we've also got Jonathan Fox Davies, over 100 caps for Wales, one of the good-looking man, doesn't age, feeds off the souls of young people because he must do, because there's something he's doing to survive. Together, they're here to play for up to £5,000 for your club, and maybe throw the social of the decade if you get that cash. I'll reveal a list of clubs and or provinces or franchises. A mystery rugby player has represented during his career. Senior appearances only, to caveat that. From the moment I start the clock, you'll have 30 seconds to guess who it is. The more players you identify, the more money you win for your club. But beware, the questions get harder and harder as the prize money climbs. Round 1 for £100. Here's your first mystery player. He's played for Newcastle Falcons and Toulon. The countdown begins.
Johnny.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
Local.
You happy with that?
Yeah.
You finished with
happy to
close
go
out?
with
Okay. And the answer you've gone for is Jonny Wilkinson. And the answer is Jonny Wilkinson. You have £100. Well done, everybody. Round 2 for £250. Jonny has slumped into a coma. Mystery Player 2. Wasps, Stade Francais, Rico Black Rams, the Highlanders, Northampton Saints. Go.
Ask.
Yeah.
It's Hask.
Oh.
It's James Haskell.
Please refer to me by my full name, as we're work colleagues, not friends. And the answer is James Haskell. Well done. Well done. That's quick. You have locked in £250.
Good.
Round 3 for £500. He played for Leicester, Saracens, Breve, and South African-based Sharks, Worcester, Wasps, Newcastle Falcons. Go.
Andy Good.
Yeah.
Yeah, sounds about right to me.
That you Sean, you got that in 1 second. I've never.
Yeah.
That was very quick. You are obviously an absolute rugby
I've
aficionado.
been lost there.
Yeah.
The answer is Andy Good. So you have secured £500.
Oh, I hope I get one for you, mate. I really do.
Round 4, £1,000 is on the line. Player 3's clubs. We had Stewart's, Melville, Melrose, Newcastle Falcons, and Border Reivers. This for £1,000. Go.
I don't know. I've not even heard of a couple of those
I know.
teams.
Is
Yeah.
it Greg at Townsend?
Remember, you've got 2 lifelines.
Could we use one of the lifelines?
Use a lifeline.
Yeah, use the life.
Which one
Yeah,
would you
get
like
the dates.
do you want the dates, do you?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll stop the clock quickly.
I've not even heard of a couple of those teams.
So the dates: Stuart Melville's 1988 to 89, Melrose 1989 to 95, Newcastle 1995 to 2002, and Borders 2002 to 2005. And this man is a legend of the game. I will say that because I'm allowed to. We'll restart the clock. 3, 2, 1, go.
I don't know.
I don't know
I don't
whether
think it's Gregor Townsend.
There
I
is
think he
another
played for
lifeline.
Southampton.
who's he play for? Who do you think Greg has played for?
Use the other lifeline.
We need an answer. Want to use the other lifeline?
Use another
Use
life.
it.
Use the other lifeline, yeah.
Okay. My clue is a Scottish great who has raised over £18 million for MND.
Oh, this I feel so guilty now.
Yeah.
Bloody weird.
Well, you should feel guilty,
Yeah.
Sean. You
I
should.
know, I'm sorry,
he's a
guys.
hero. He's a flag bearer for your incredible
Absolutely.
country. So we're going to go with final answer.
Got it, yeah.
Yeah.
Doddy Weir. And the answer is Doddy Weir.
We needed them. We needed the lifelines.
Yes.
Yes,
That's it. You are out
absolutely.
of lifelines now. The jeopardy has doubled, and we have doubled the money. £2,500 on the line. Mystery player 5. He's played for Cardiff Blues, Exeter Chiefs, Ospreys.
Cuffy.
Well, that was quick.
Cuffy.
Yeah.
Cuthbert.
Is that your final answer?
Yeah, Alex Cuthbert.
Final answer. And the answer is Alex Cuthbert.
Yes.
Go on.
It is.
Thank you.
The excitement is palpable in here. This is exciting.
Oh, I want to
the
get
ultimate
it. I want
prize.
to get it.
What is your club going to do with that money?
Social of the century. We're on track to get the Scottish Cup final for our club, so hopefully we get there. Murrayfield session will be on full on.
Nice.
I love the honesty. Most people talk about tackle bags, investing in the youth.
Yeah.
You've gone with a solid piss up for the boys if they win the cup.
Yeah.
Nice.
Professional.
Absolutely.
This is where the excitement becomes a living entity. The final question of today's Who the Ruck Is That? The clubs for this particular player are London Welsh, Gloucester, Northampton, Quins, Wasps, Roslyn Park. You have 30 seconds starting from now.
Say them again.
We have London Welsh, Gloucester, Northampton, Quins, Gloucester, Wasps, and Roslyn Park. And I'll say, Jonny May, you know him. And you actually played with him, I think.
Say it again, sorry.
So we've got 5 seconds left.
Quickly.
Okay, we've got London Welsh, Gloucester, Northampton Quins, Gloucester Wasps, and Roslyn Park. Are you ready? I've got to push you now.
Top Phillips, what was his name?
Dorian Jones.
Yeah, it is Dawes.
Or Dorian Jones.
Is that your final answer?
Yeah.
Sean?
Yeah.
Ladies and
happy to go
gentlemen,
with it.
the answer for £5,000 for the Ultimate Club Social is Paul Dorian Jones.
Yes,
Hey.
I thought it might have been Rupert Hardin.
Wow.
it might
we
have been
got
Rupert
there
Hardin.
in the end. Sean,
who's
your
Rupert?
reaction? How do you feel?
I was just saying a massive thank you to the boys for helping out. Really appreciate it.
No, we're buzzing.
Can we come
Over
on the
there.
social?
Absolutely. I'll send the invites out.
I won't come because you're not paying me. But the idea, it's the thought that counts. Well, listen, don't worry if you entered your club. You'll still be in a chance for the draw in next month's competition. So if you think you have what it takes, please head to the link in the episode description to fill in the entry form with your club name and details for your chance to win. Just like Sean on 5K for Gordonians RFC, all entries have to be UK based and money has to be used for the club, not personal use. But you can use it for a team social like Gordonians are. Lads, thank you so much for coming on.
Thanks for having me.
Very excited to have you here. We always have a gift for people who come on the show. Jonny, there's a bottle of Black Eye behind you. If you want to give that to Foxy
There you go, mate.
as a little
Perfect
thank
for
you.
the train journey home now. Thank you
Perfect.
very much.
Just won double gold in San Francisco at the National or International Gin Awards. So Black Eye is obviously dedicated to supporting rugby players, both past and present, while donating £1.50 from every bottle sold, enjoying a refreshing Black Eye G&T while watching the Six Nations and contributing to the sports you love. So I would suggest you drink that next week. Will you be watching? What will you be doing?
I'll be at the game and I'll be hopefully enjoying a Wales win.
I'll be at the game and I'll see you there.
You'll be working though.
I
I'll be
will be
enjoying.
working. I'm driving as well. I've purposely driven not to get caught up in the shenanigans. Jonny, where will you be?
I'll be in France watching at home.
Lovely. Well, listen, for extra content, don't forget to subscribe to the lock-in. £3.99 per month. Jonny May is on this episode having a existential crisis and a meltdown, but tells you all about his stag do and his accidental overdose. Get your audience questions in using the email info@goodbadrugby.com. Jonny, I think it's a round of applause. Fair play for surviving the show.
Yeah.
You've done so well.
Top effort.
Well,
Unless they were the actual anti-inflams. But I got the taste. You know the taste of a Zoppy clone.
Yeah,
I'm like 90% sure.
Well. So you mean we've built a whole premise around the fact you were highly drugged, that we had Mike Tindall standing in the wings to step in case you
He's
slumped
just
into a
caught
coma.
rush hour now. He's just caught rush hour.
I'm quite certain. I rang Tom in a panic because I had that copper.
Yeah.
I know the
Metal
taste. I know the taste, and
I mean,
I'm pretty sure.
whatever you've done, you've created suspense and built some drama, which I absolutely love. This Father's Day, Sunday, the 15th of June, give your dad a gift he'll never forget, 2 Zoppy clones. No, don't do that.
You nicked my Zoppy clones.
I'm having them now.
He
Sunday,
did, he
Good
nicked
Bad
them, he
Rugby
nicked them out
Live.
my bag.
Sunday, Good Bad Rugby Live at Hampton Court Festival. So get your tickets now. We're going to be there. Honestly, Tindall comes alive on the live show, all the stories, opportunity to have photos and actually see us unchecked because we have a lot of sponsors on the show, fantastic sponsors we value. But obviously with that comes a certain level of behaviour. Hampton Court, we're going to blow the roof off. Go to Hampton Court Palace festival.com to get your tickets. GBR NZ. Last week, the lads had Aaron Major on, a great listen and a very interesting perspective on how Alistair Campbell handled the O'Driscoll injury in 2005. A reminder that you can now watch the full podcast on Spotify as well as on YouTube. Don't forget to subscribe, leave us a review, good or bad. We just want a review, and follow us on social media for the latest rugby updates. Well done, Sean. 5K, incredible.
Amazing.
Thank you for tuning in to the Good, the Bad, and the Rugby in partnership with Continental Tires, our go-to for premium tyres. Whether on the rugby field or the road, safety always comes first. And also, unlike the show, Continental Tires are award-winning. We're a folding pocket production. This episode was produced by Tom Snacks Edwards.
You've been listening to The Good, Yay, The Bad, and The Rugby, Oof, with Alex Payne, James Haskell, and Mike Tindall. Thanks for listening.
My legs are a little bit jelly when I'm walking
Right.
up and down the stairs, but it feels quite nice.
You're a bit sort of
I feel a bit lit, yeah.
Lit.